streaming. This should go live, I think. Hope, maybe. Fuck knows. We're apparently
Probably not.
still offline. Okay, so we're apparently live now. There is a bit of a delay.
Oh, well, we're live. Oh,
The internet can totally see you now to
Jesus.
stop using it.
Oh.
I didn't realise how creepy that picture of Todd would be, but hey.
Oh, it's great. Don't worry about it.
It's Todd, man, you know.
We have 0 watchers. I thought you guys were like watching its test the stream.
I'm on it on two
Yeah,
different
I'm
devices.
watching.
Hang on a minute.
I'm trying to blow that.
What the fuck?
For
Okay.
watching now.
4 watch. Oh, okay. So is it just like mine that's just messed up?
Probably.
That's nice to know. Maybe that is unique viewers, like new people who I haven't like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could
I'm
be,
like,
like, by the
anyway,
looks of it,
I
it's
mean-
not counting both of me, so
why have
We
you
are
got 2 why are
right.
you like watching it twice yourself?
I don't know.
Either way, right, I'm going to start recording now, so we've actually got a track of this, and watch my CPU go up to stupid numbers. That's
Oh
the
boy, this has been like the most content for
content. This is the sound of my
start.
CPU powering up as it starts recording.
This start of a podcast, bro. This is like just. I think this is the very definition of the kind of content that this is going to be.
Content.
Yeah.
What are you on about? Content is
Content.
clearly there, right? So should we actually like
Yeah.
crack on with this thing? So like if people decide to tune in, they can do. I mean, it should say we've gone live on Twitter, I think. I'm just going to double check that now. Because I said we are going live in like half an hour on Twitter. I mean, no one really cares because it's Twitter, but still. It might be nice knowing that YouTube's got my back, you know? Yeah, no,
You know
it's
what?
not actually...
Where's the group chat?
Oh. I mean, if you want to plug it, I've got like a 20-person group chat I don't speak to anymore.
Oh my god.
Haven't seen any of these guys in like a year, but you know.
I mean, if you want to, it's fine. It's just like, it's supposed to, every time I upload a video, it's supposed to like show it on Twitter.
Oh,
And
no.
it's not doing that. So yay for YouTube. In fact, sod it. That is our first topic now. How shit YouTube's live streaming service is. Which is immediately getting taken down now. It's actually genuinely quite bad at times. Like the latency between like upload is pretty crap, and I've got a decent internet speed here, and I don't really get why it's so slow. I mean, it'd be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man, it's all
It's
good.
fine.
All
We're
good.
still going. Yeah, Wakey, we're still going. Relax. It's cool. We've been going for 2 minutes now.
It's all fine. It's chill.
We've been going for 2 minutes, well, nearly 3 minutes actually. But yeah, content. We're telling each other.
Yeah, I feel like we should
Keep
probably
that-
start.
I feel like we should actually, because if we don't,
Yeah.
right? If we don't,
But let's
we're
face it,
never
I don't
gonna
think the
start.
Twitter followers were like, you know, they're not on the edge of their seats looking for this link coming up.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm sure they can manage.
Alright, so
Real fans would already be subscribed to us.
Hashtag notification squad.
Oh.
Yeah, it
I
makes
send
me.
emails when we start these streams, which is really fucking redundant.
What,
Because
you
I'm
think
on
I'm
the
gonna
stream.
put an RSS feed up for this? Sod off. RSS is dead, mate. God, get on my level. Everyone knows it's all about that Twitter shout out.
No, I actually get an email from YouTube every time you start streaming.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it's useless because I'm on the stream, so I don't know why I have that set up.
I'm surprised I don't get an email then, because that's just like.
No, it's because I've got my notifications turned on for your channel.
Wait, seriously? You're in the notification squad?
Why I am. I shouldn't be.
You're in like at least you are like currently in the majority of watch time on this channel. You do not need to be in the notification squad. You will be very aware if we're going live.
I know, but this means if you ever try and cut me out of this, I'll know.
Oh, I see, you're right. So we move on to the first topic then, since the numbers have dropped down, but it's probably just Ryan turning it off, but who else?
No, I've got mine on. Oh, that's 4.
We've actually just lost a viewer.
I mean, I closed my second tab.
Oh, right, that might be what it is then. Stop view buying us. Alright, so the first topic we have today is actually a topic one of my friends, well, me and my friend were talking about today. Yeah, I have other friends, apparently. It's
No, you don't.
alright, Ryan, I don't. I'll leave a link to her vlog in the description, as was like the agreement of this this little topic. But basically, she was saying how she suffers from PKU, and that's basically what her blog's about. Her blog. This is our little coffee I've had today, boys.
How are you going to deal with that low level of caffeine?
I don't actually know. If I start to sound like I'm about to pass out, it's from caffeine withdrawal. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
We'll make sure to alert the EMTs.
Oh yeah, it's cool. Basically, she was telling me about how she has to pay for her prescription for PKU. So for people who don't know, PKU is it's a genetic disease that, let me get this right before someone yells at me, if I remember rightly, causes the inability to break down protein due to the lack of an enzyme or the lack of an ability to do a process that breaks down protein.
Yeah, they can't break up a certain amino acid, I think.
Yeah, it's phenylamine they
Yeah,
can't
that
break
sounds
down.
Yeah.
Which is kind of useful. I don't know if anyone knows that. Also can lead to brain damage in children if they consume it with PKU.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually really quite nasty, which sort of leads me to why we're talking about this. And I'm going to put this down before I stab myself. It sort of leads to why we're talking about it today. She has to pay for her prescriptions, even though she didn't really willingly choose to have PKU. Do you think that's fair?
I mean, if it's a serious condition, I don't think people should be expected to pay out money to, live.
Exactly. Like, if it's a life-threatening illness, the NHS will cover your prescription, because the logic is, well, they're going to die if we don't, so best cover it, right? Do no harm and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the exact fourth discussion that goes on about whether they should cover things.
But basically, she gets like a milkshake or like a milkshake powder type thing on prescription, and like that is like her intake of protein or something.
Oh, right.
But she has to pay the prescription for that, right? Which is in the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nearly £9, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, around
it's like,
that.
it's about £8.60, isn't it? Something stupid like that. Which every time you go to get your drugs is like it's £8.60 per prescription. So if, for argument's sake, you had ibuprofen and paracetamol on one prescription, God knows why you get these on prescription, but they were the two drugs that came to mind the quickest.
Just go down Walker getting involved.
Exactly. You would pay twice. That you would pay £8.60.
Oh
For argument's
god.
sake, twice. Like, so it's
Yeah.
per drug on that prescription. Which is quite funny for hormone replacement therapy. Because that includes 2 drugs in one packet. Which means you have to pay twice. So essentially this entire topic is just about how bullshit the prescription service is over here. And like how, I don't want to say exploitative, but like not well designed, I think would be the best way of describing it.
Yeah, like especially for conditions that are like
That are going to kill the person.
Yeah, serious inherited conditions. Like,
I mean, I don't know if
they're
PKU would actually kill the person, but you
well,
know,
if it's something that significantly
if
impacts
it's severe
quality of
PKU,
life,
it can cause brain damage. Which I think's pretty bad. I don't think I'm going out on a limb there saying that brain damage is pretty shitty. It's probably gonna be that one dickhead who like says, "Oh, it'd be fine, don't worry about it." But you know, so how would you change the prescription service? I'm getting into them real big topics right now, boys. Because I mean, I'm sure you all know I don't like the NHS how it works anyway. Like it's not news. But I actually don't know how I'd fix the prescription service. It's about the only thing in the NHS I don't know how I would change it.
Private. If you want a private system where you're probably likely to have to pay even more.
Not necessarily. Prescriptions under my private.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
private in inverted commas. It's not exactly private. It's still government funded. It's just you give
the way I'd say it is, if a medication is necessary for ensuring like quality of life, or life, then it should be part of the healthcare provided by the NHS. It should come under the free at the point of use philosophy behind the NHS.
Yeah, I think that free at the point of use philosophy, Ryan, has kind of died. would be the easiest way of saying that. Because
Because
prescriptions
the government don't fund it.
haven't really been funded since like the 90s, though, has it?
Mm.
Like, it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
The NHS is struggling for cash. Like in the 90s, they were overhiring nurses, which caused like an issue now because they're no longer hiring nurses, which means they're understaffed for nurses.
Well,
Which
nobody wants to go into nursing at the moment because
I
the
don't know
pay's not
why.
worth it.
He doesn't that.
Yeah, it's like, really quite difficult work and education to go through with hours and stuff, and then you're not getting much out of it in the end. You're not getting.
Yeah, it all comes down to like job satisfaction, doesn't it? Like, sure, if you're gonna enjoy caring for
Yeah.
people and like that is the thing you want to do, then sure, you're probably gonna become a
Especially
nurse.
considering that the amount of debt you tend to rack up, getting the required education to do that job.
No, you can get like an apprenticeship program to become a nurse nowadays.
Yeah.
Hang on, is my mic dead?
Yeah, I was
No,
going to
it's
say,
fine.
like, the NHS will do scholarships, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say, the thing is, though, is like, I mean, you look at the pay work of care workers, for example, it's abysmal.
Mm.
In fact, there's been quite a big thing in the last couple of years of, like, nurses and care workers
Going to
having
food
to
banks
use
and
food
stuff.
stamps.
Yeah. The NHS is dying. I mean, it's well past the life expectancy of a socialised healthcare system.
Well, no, it's
It was a
only
joke,
dying
right?
because it's not being funded.
We can't afford to fund it. That's the problem.
I don't know if we can afford, to like constantly increase our budget for for the defence.
The problem is, it costs like
isn't really
what was it? Somewhere along
defending.
the lines of like £7 million a day to run the NHS.
Hmm.
That's
Perhaps
quite.
if rich people started paying their taxes.
Rich people do pay their taxes, Ryan. Also, if rich people started paying their taxes to the extent you want rich people to pay their taxes, they'd piss off to another country. Like they did in Venezuela, like they did in most of the socialist countries. Like the fall of the Soviet Union. Once the Iron War came down, everyone was like, well, why the fuck
What
would
you're
I stay
saying
here?
is because a certain group of people will refuse to pay the taxes, we shouldn't tax them.
No, they're not refusing to pay their taxes, Ryan. If we overtax them, they will just piss off.
Well, I mean, at the moment we have a massive issue with tax evasion. I mean,
Right,
do you remember the Panama?
Country.
Yeah,
Kyle, do you remember what the Panama Papers were?
The what?
Do you remember what the Panama Papers were?
No, go on.
It was a thing that came out like
I remember this, yeah.
I think it was last year, where it was reviewed, like it was damning evidence showing how the world, like basically the entire world's elite, was like in a global like tax evasion, basically a tax ring, like tax evasion ring.
Right.
Panama was one of the countries where people were using as a like because it is a tax haven country, so people would just have the bank accounts registered in Panama, so they didn't have to pay any tax.
It's interesting to note, so is the UK. We have one of the lowest business taxes on the planet.
And yet we still have a massive issue with tax evasion.
Ryan, we can't... Tax evasion is going to happen in any society.
Yeah, but if you put resources towards cracking down on it...
If you put resources towards cracking down, you do politics. You should know there is a fine point where you can't go past. If you put too much resources towards getting money,
it didn't
you
help
don't recoup enough money.
Let's bear in mind, though, that I think David Cameron's, one or two of his cousins are actually some of the names on the Panama Papers, so...
I would also imagine there's also Labour Party members that are on the Panama Papers.
There was a very big, substantial amount of major Tory backers, though.
I don't think it's exactly a politics thing. I think tax evasion just
disproportionately. Yeah, but
I feel like tax evasion is a people with money thing.
Can't just I'm gonna say, but still, you can't just say, "Oh, it happened, so there's nothing we can do about it." So at that point, it's like.
No, there is stuff we can do about it, Ryan. But there is a fine point. You can't go past a certain amount of money because once you put enough. So let's say, for argument's sake, you put in £1 billion to recoup £1.5 billion.
It's too awkward to enforce the law on these people. Therefore, they're above the law.
No, Ryan. If you let me finish. So let's say we put £1 billion to recoup £1.5 billion. But if we didn't put any money towards it, we'd get $500 million. Which one do you go for?
I mean, you'd still get about $500 million in tax.
It's the very definition of. It is the very definition of. It's as broad as it's long. Like, you can put more money in it, Ryan, but you're not going to get any more money back.
I understand your analogy because it's wrong in like so many ways.
It's kind of not though.
So
it's simplified, but it's not wrong.
Estimates are that, like the current estimates are that tax evasion costs the UK government and therefore the UK taxpayer. I think it's £80 billion a year.
Right, and how much would it cost to get that £80 billion a year back?
A lot less than that. So therefore, bear in mind this is a year, so those numbers are just increasing every year. The total cost to the taxpayer has increased every year because it's just snowballed.
Do you not think an immediate clampdown on tax evasion would cause a major destabilisation of the economy, though?
Well, no, because it's people that have the money to pay the taxes don't do it.
Money's kind of arbitrary in this kind of day and age, though. They might have the money, but they might also have that money in bonds or whatever, or in another company. They won't just have enough money to pay. They wouldn't have enough money just to retroactively pay back their taxes, just like that.
To be fair, a lot of them probably do.
But they don't, Ryan, because they'll reinvest it in the company, because that's how you make money. So what you're doing is charging them a shitload of tax, and all of a sudden you've just lost every company that we had. You can't just say clamp down on tax evasion. It's as simple as that. That's how we get more money. It's not. Tax evasion is very much in the grey area. The more money you put towards it, the more money you get out of it. But equally, that's still more money you've got to put towards it. And if you put so much towards it that if you want to retroactively get back all that tax, you're destabilising an economy. In addition, if you tax people to a certain point, they're just going to leave anyway.
You can the thing is if there was actually a thing to go out and say, look, these people have committed crimes in tax failings.
Right, but you can't.
They can leave the country. They're still wanted. There's a thing called Interpol.
Right.
Yeah,
where they go.
But then we've got to pay Interpol to track them down. Who aren't cheap.
But again, look at how much.
It's all cost, right? And that's what I'm saying. It all adds up.
Yeah, although you could argue that it would be
No, my solution to it would be.
To an extent,
my solution to it would be.
Trying to leave.
Is accept that we're going to have tax evasion. Right? Raise the taxes slightly on the rich.
Accepting about terrorism being a thing of living in a city then?
No,
because you're basically saying,
we have to. Ryan. I just
about accepting speeding cars. People speed.
You're saying we just have to accept that this.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you accept it to a point. No, if you let me finish, Ryan, like I was trying to do before you interrupted with the whole terrorism thing, if you raise tax to a certain point, people will still pay it. They'll avoid tax, but you are in the end getting more money for jack shit. You are going to get tax avoidance. That's just how the world works. You get tax avoidance regardless of what the economic state of the country is. But you can't just say, let's tax the rich people, that's how we get more money. Because they'll A, either avoid it, or B, just avoid the fucking country.
And you act like that's just an acceptable thing that we
No, it's not an acceptable thing, Ryan. It's one of them things that is very, very, very bad because the average Joe has to pay tax and doesn't generally avoid tax. And they seem to get dicked over more than, the rich person. But equally, the average Joe kind of relies on the rich person for their tax that they do pay.
Which is a lot less than you'd think when you look
Doesn't matter. Are they still paying tax?
Barely.
Are they paying tax? Yes or no?
They're barely paying tax.
Are they paying tax? Yes or no?
Don't
want technically a yes or no. Simple as, right? Are they paying tax? Ignore Amazon. Because they just want actually removing from the country. We can cope with the job loss overnight. Somehow.
I mean, you basically just shot yourself in the foot by saying
Not
that,
really.
actually.
I'm on
Because
about other
Amazon
companies. Amazon is one
How about
company,
Google?
Ryan.
How about Google then?
Google's getting sued for it. Google are currently under like a massive fine, like a enormous fine, the biggest the EU has ever seen for tax avoidance. So they are clamping down on it, Ryan.
But, like, by your logic, though, they shouldn't be, because Google will just leave the EU.
No, you just naturally try to clamp down on it. You don't put too much money towards it. You're removing the nuance from a situation that really needs nuance, Ryan.
See, and now you've basically just proven that it doesn't cost, like, too much to clamp down on tax evasion.
However,
I think what I'm trying to say is that we should do something to try and prevent it, but if we do too much at any once at any one point, then people will just fucking leave and be in a worse situation.
Yeah.
It's got to be gradual, and it's got to be enough. They're not going to put too much to resist it.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't like paying tax. Because it's their money. They've worked fucking hours and hours and hours on end trying to get that money. Regardless of whether you think that money is worth, if they deserve that money, it doesn't matter. They have still, earned that money.
Well, with the people we're talking about, like, you can beg that question.
I mean,
no, you can't, Ryan. They have spent their time building up an empire from the ground. You try building a company like Amazon. You try building a company like Google.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I have to deal with the monopolies, don't I?
How do you? Have you then decided to buy a shitload more companies?
People with money seem to be the people that make big businesses. It's funny that.
I mean, the guys who created Google did it out of a garage, and Amazon was just one warehouse in one city at one point. They didn't have any money from the start, but they built an empire. Interesting.
Okay, going to the same now, because they went into a brand new market that hadn't been monopolised yet.
Right, so find your own market that hasn't been monopolised. That's kind of how capitalism works.
I mean, like, considering that there's generally laws against monopolisation, yet we still get it.
Okay, but as long as you've got competition, which is healthy for the consumer and healthy for the business,
it
doesn't matter.
There isn't.
What do you mean there isn't?
Isn't really competition.
Google is losing they're losing users overnight to people like DuckDuckGo because people don't like sharing privacy information. If Google don't change, eventually the little guy's going to win.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's not like people that are actually setting up now to compete. That's like beating Google, and the fact that Google's just had all these problems revealed about it, its privacy issue.
Right, but that would come out, like, the community at large will find everything wrong, with what's happening.
I mean, you say that, but...
I'm not arguing for a laissez-faire economy, Ryan. I'm arguing for a more lax economy, a more lax government towards, like, big businesses. It is quite hard for a small business in the UK to start up. Like, we need more lax taxes towards small businesses to allow those small businesses to start up.
Oh, yeah, but nobody's talking about increasing taxes on small businesses.
But the thing is, Ryan, you've just said that businesses need to pay tax. Big businesses, small businesses start. Big businesses start off as small businesses. So in order to get a big business to pay tax, and actually pay tax, you tax them as they're going up. You claim that money while they're still small, in some capacity.
Yeah, but you can't. So what you're saying is, if they're already big now,
smaller businesses generally can't afford to pay larger amounts, while larger businesses can, but choose to avoid it.
Yeah, but if you want larger businesses to pay tax, increase the amount of competition they've got, which means cut taxes to the small guy.
Yeah, and no one's saying that we want to tax small businesses.
What I'm saying, right, is there's different ways of tackling the situation of tax avoidance than just clamp down on tax avoidance by bureaucracy.
I mean, obviously, though, if you're going to
Let's say the thing is, you can
decrease
do
tax
all
on
the
small
incentives you
businesses,
want to a small business. If they're competing with a monopoly, and a monopoly doesn't, if they, let's say you want to start up,
What are they
let's
competing
say,
with, Ryan?
It's gonna make it
What
easier.
monopoly? Pick a monopoly.
right? So let's say you want to go up again. You want to start out like, I don't know. Let's say a food market.
Okay.
You know,
That's, pretty competitive.
Fast food restaurants owned by the same company.
Yeah, I mean, even you reveal like you were talking about
Yeah,
that
that was
one.
a
But
bit
I was
shitty.
thinking
I mean,
more
not
like,
all of them, but like
let's
a
say you want to
vast
try and make
fucking
like a
majority.
private. Let's say you want to make an independent supermarket.
Okay, there are a lot of them in small towns. Really successful ones.
Name some.
What do you mean name some? Superlinks. For one,
Isn't
Sellafield
Superlinks
started off as a
actually, like-
tiny one.
Isn't Superlinks like a European thing
No.
though?
And even if they are, there's a European brand coming to the UK. That's good for our economy.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, like how can you compete with something like Tesco or Asda, Morrison's or Sainsbury's?
You start
Who
off as a
can afford-
wholesaler to them people.
Gonna say, who could like
Or you
easily.
don't be a supermarket. You
So what you're saying is like,
find
yeah,
a
that
new
business is-
niche that is currently unexplored within that sector. I mean, the biggest craze was like Whole Foods a while back. Like, you find a niche. You can't just copy and paste someone's like method. It just doesn't work.
basically what you're saying is you find something where there isn't any competition, which is exactly what I've
Not
been
exactly.
saying.
No, you find something that you can compete on big businesses with in a specific area. They can then adapt their model to do that, but whether they think that's economically feasible or not is a different matter. That's just business. It's capitalism, right? Competition breeds competition. And an idea
Those at
breeds
the top
competition too.
will do what they can to get rid of competition.
Right? Which I think's bad. And I don't think they should be allowed to, which is why we have things like the Monopolies Commission.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we have monopolies at the moment that just are too powerful.
Monopolies on what?
Monopolies on everything.
You can't say everything,
Okay.
Ryan. What have we got monopolies on?
Well, like we've already mentioned the supermarkets.
Supermarkets, okay. Name me 5 supermarkets you could currently go to. Because I bet you could.
It's a monopoly in the sense that, look, like when it comes to, I could name you 4: Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, and Morrison's.
Right?
But between them, they are essentially a monopoly.
Not really. They are in direct competition with each other. If I go to Sainsbury's that's gained a customer, whereas all the others have lost one.
Yes, but between them, like, they control the market.
Ryan,
Yeah,
on a
those
serious
aren't the
note,
big four.
Google,
So a market is a
Google the
market.
Google the baked bean wars, and you will completely change your mind. Like the baked bean wars was over the Heinz can of beans, and Aldi, Lidl, smaller independent corner shops were undercutting massive food chains because they could sell it as a loss leader to get more revenue. They were actually affecting the economy of their businesses just by lowering the price of cans of beans. These weren't massive chains. I mean, Aldi was tiny at the time. Lidl had like a couple shops. Now look at the size of them.
Yeah, I mean,
The cheapest they went to was somewhere along the lines of 4p a can. Which, by the way, can we have like a baked bean wars too? I really would quite like a 4p a can of beans.
Say, Kyle, I thought you were saying is they had to be able to afford to make a loss.
No, you don't make a loss. You always have loss leaders, regardless of what the business is.
yeah, it's more of a calculated risk than anything like that. They're selling it for less than they should be, but the amount of people that are buying from them because of that lets them make it up to
How
it.
many times do you go into a shop just wanting a can of beans?
Never?
Yeah.
Honestly, more than I should.
Do a proper shop, Wakey.
Oh, I'm lazy.
But you know what I mean? Barely ever do you go into a shop just wanting a can of beans. You go in
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I'll get a can of beans while I'm here. oh, these are really cheap. And then you think, hang on a minute, if I can get a can of beans really cheap here, I'll go to there more often because they create the illusion of being cheap. Which it actually helps that Audi and Lidl were really cheap. You sell them at a loss to get people in so they can buy your more expensive stuff. And the more you can buy in one bulk, the cheaper that's going to be, so the less of a loss leader that is. And if you're selling them at 4p a can, you're going to move units.
Yeah, makes sense.
It is so unbelievably, insane of, how many units of beans were sold. It is a genuine part of economics that they teach now.
Bean-based economy.
Yeah, it was called the Baked Beans War. They gave it a dramatic title and everything.
Oh yeah, it's got a name.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's important when it gets a name. I'd just like to point out that we have somehow got here from PKU prescriptions.
Hang on a minute, I don't think PKU sufferers can eat Heinz beans. I think they contain it. There we go.
There we go,
Full
we
circle.
managed to link it back again.
Other brands of beans are available.
Yeah, of course.
We live in the UK, I'm not allowed to say not. I'm not allowed to say anything else.
No, because we're not with the BBC.
Doesn't matter. There's advertising laws based around any person who broadcasts. And since we are broadcasting from a UK location, and shit, I've just doxed myself.
It's fine, Mum.
We have to abide by Ofcom's rules. Who I found out the other day are not actually a government agency.
Huh.
The
No,
logic
we're
behind
independent.
the logic behind Ofcom is we will deal with all the legislation. You stick with us, otherwise the government's taking over. And do you really want
And make it law.
Yeah, do you really want
Oh
that?
yeah, because they're like an independent thing, aren't they? To an extent.
So, basically, it's kind of like you do what we want, or you get shot. Which is why
Yeah,
they're
so
allowed
think
to
of it as a
dish
bit-
out fines that actually get paid, even though those fines aren't legally binding.
I say, think
Yeah.
about it as being a bit like the IPCC.
Hmm.
You know, that's, as the name suggests, the Independent Police Commission, or Police and Crime Commission,
Hmm.
They're independent, but, they handle all complaints to the police, and they're basically the official body on it, but they're independent of government.
Hmm.
Because obviously, if you have a government, handling the complaints of its police, it's generally not a good thing.
No, they just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like there's a lot of small things like that. It's quite, I think I bet there's quite a few that are sort of independent, watchdog type. Like hell, the Watchdog show is a watchdog that's independent.
Basically, all the government watchdogs are independent.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they need to be.
Yeah.
Because everyone should be able to be tried equally. And if you have a government handling the trial, they can't be tried equally.
Yeah, so that's supposed to make sure they're impartial.
Yeah, it's a very good system. America should learn something.
America could learn a lot of things.
You know what I find
In
quite
general.
impressive though? You know the whole Robert Mueller investigation of the Trump election campaign?
Oh god, yeah.
Trump can fire him at any point.
Well, isn't that what he did?
No, he's fired 2 of the FBI directors.
Oh, yeah.
But Trump can fire Mueller at any point. How is that okay?
What we're going to say, 'cause, as soon as he came in, he fired the FBI director, didn't he?
Yeah, and everyone was like, what the fuck, why?
Because he was leading, a thing, an investigation into the Russian allegations.
Because it was
Which,
the most suspicious
like-
thing he could do at the time. so
Exactly.
yeah, let's do that.
I kind of looked at it has he really got links with Russia? And then he's like, yeah, I'm firing the guy who's investigating my, Russian links. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind. Do you know what?
But,
I think the FBI director probably left the office saying, thanks, you've just done my job for me. I rest my case.
It doesn't even matter whether you found
But no,
anything or not.
my
That is
point
the
is,
most sus
why
thing possible.
the hell can Trump fire Mueller?
Because that's America for you.
I mean, he's not going to, because Mueller is one of the most respected men
Well,
in...
you say that, but
No, he is. He's like a fucking...
Yeah.
Isn't it like a Vietnam War vet, who saved a shitload of people and just generally is an all-round nice guy? Alright, that's £10 over. Let's just like mute that. Yeah. All the phones being. I thought someone wanted me. I got excited. I was like, no, people don't want me. It's sad now. I need to buy more friends. And I kind of feel a bit blessed in some senses living in the UK. And then we get to our next story. Man is arrested and jailed for refusing to give his Facebook password in connection with the murder of a schoolgirl. Ryan, I want your input here. What do you think about this?
I mean, like, this was the first I actually heard of this.
It broke today.
It's the right privacy situation, isn't it?
I mean, it's very much like an
issue.
Today. Yeah. And this is quite the privacy issue. Like, I mean, I have to look into it a bit, but man arrested for refusing it.
This is like one of those extreme strawman cases that someone will throw at you to try and make you question your opinion.
But it actually happened. Yeah, so I think the UK is currently going through a major, like everyone jokes about Trump being fascist, and the UK government has actually done things that are genuinely considered fascist, in the last year.
Well, I think I have to look. I don't know the details of this, so I will have to try and look them up. It's going off what you said there. I believe the police does have the right to arrest people. So there's a difference between being arrested and being imprisoned. Bear in mind, but they deem could be a threat if.
No, he's been imprisoned. If you read the news article, he's in jail.
Is he in prison or is he in police holding?
Yeah, I think he's in police holding, but still.
Yeah, that's not being imprisoned.
That is being deprived of your civil liberties.
Yeah, but it's slightly different. I would say because it's not.
He pleaded guilty to a charge under the Regulation of Investigative Powers Act.
So why did they need his password?
I don't know that. I'm not defending. I'm just trying to go through the legal semantics.
Do you think that they should be allowed to then? Apparently, we belong in the Museum of Trash, by the way.
I was gonna say, we don't know the rest of the case, so.
Does it matter?
I mean, maybe there was other reasons why he was arrested as well, but.
Why does he need to?
I get the feeling that he was suspect to have information regarding this.
No.
So, his private messages.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have to give up his password. I want to say that.
If you read your Facebook terms of service, Facebook can dish out your private messages, to the police if they ask for them and provide sufficient evidence that they require.
Yeah, I mean, I want to point out, I don't think the police should be able to
it's
gain
privacy.
access to it, but
it's an inalienable right.
Information.
Or should be an inalienable right. Apparently in the UK they don't believe this. Hello government, because they're probably watching, because it's just the nature of fucking world.
It's one of those inalienable rights.
Facebook and Google don't exactly believe in privacy anyway.
No. That's why I quite like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm quite liking WhatsApp recently. That's pretty good.
I keep hearing people suggest that.
It's alright if you want to do if you want a private conversation that actually is private. They're pretty good at it. They have a written statement at the top saying we will we encode your messages, so we can't see them and we won't pass your data.
You can't see them.
So theoretically, if they ever did decide to decode them and pass them on, you could sue the shit out of them.
Oh, they physically can't. It'd be really hard for them to do it.
Yeah. I would imagine there's no reason they should have the encoder key, is there? So yeah.
They'd have to. There are already people trying to see if they do or not, because they can break apart the app to see if they get your private keys or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. WhatsApp. Let's just plug WhatsApp a bit.
Apparently, my granddad does have good taste in messaging services.
1 minute. What's this? The only apps that are good are the ones that have such bad security that people can easily change the name of New York.
Did we miss something here? What's this?
I think it was Google Maps. Someone hacked this week or some shit and changed New York City's name.
Oh, that's amazing. What did they change it to?
I don't know if it was Google Maps, but it was one of the mapping apps anyway.
Oh.
I forgot what they changed the name to though.
I mean, Google's the only one that anyone uses, so...
Probably is Google then. Or it might be Bing, so people can like Bing and decide to change the name of New York City. I mean, that was a stretch, wasn't it?
I mean, if it was Bing, I'd suspect it being like a deliberate publicity ploy, you know?
Probably, actually, yeah.
I think a lot of old people use Ask.
Do you know the thing with Bing, right? I saw an advert for it on YouTube the other day. Hang on a minute, that's this.
Oh.
Oh, that was it, okay.
The map that Snapchat and Citybike use.
There we go.
Somewhat, can we say this?
Yeah, I think we're allowed to.
Okay. So somebody renamed New York to Deutropolis on Snapchat's map.
I'm not entirely sure that's anti-Semitic, but just for the sake of like legal defense here, I don't know. I do not believe.
We're not saying it in an anti-Semitic way, but I'm pretty sure it was the person who changed it was being very anti-Semitic at that point.
Okay, I think we're safe on the legal front now.
Yeah.
We haven't lost any viewers, so that's fine.
It's not Google Maps, it's Mapbox, some third-party company.
There we go. Okay. But yeah, that's apparently the only one that you should be using. One that's so shit they can be hacked.
Mapbox endorsed by our good friend in chat.
It's a mod. He's a mod on the Discord, man. Yeah, like, you know. That's the reason he can type in here. He's also the guy watching.
Oh fuck! I didn't even realise he messaged in the Winky chat.
You what? How the fuck what?
I hadn't realised he'd messaged in the Discord chat as well.
There's a message in the Discord chat and there's a message. Like, we're actually getting like feedback here. It's quite weird.
Oh no, we have a audience singular.
A audience, yeah. I mean, it says 5 watchers, but you know, that means me, you, and him.
Hatter, do you want to like elaborate on the Jeremy Corbyn argument?
Yeah, I'm
He's
quite.
going to join the chat.
Oh, I think probably is. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't actually have permission to join.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh no, I think it's because he sent me it earlier, and I said, "Oh, it's probably Jeremy Corbyn that's done this."
This is what Corbyn uses to vent. He just
to vent off all that anti.
He uses those
Jewish
hacking
hate.
skills. He uses those hacking skills he picked up in the 80s.
Considering like tweet of Netanyahu, you don't need to do anything yourself to go after like Israel anyway.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that one now then, since we've actually got a decent tangent into it?
Yeah, segue over this way.
Yeah. This is what we call a segue tangent.
Yeah, it's almost like we have an actual script this time.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I have everything open on my page, so it's fine. Like my right hand screen is just cluttered with shit. So don't worry about it. It's fine. So let's throw up the Am I saying it right? Netanyahu. Oh shit, we've lost Ryan. Alright, Ryan's back again. So I think we're fine again. So let's throw up the Netanyahu tweet. And I'm sorry, he's gonna have to go into the corner of degenerates because this is genuinely weird. Like, who needs to say this? So the weak.
Yeah.
Let's just read it out. The weak crumble, are slaughtered and erased from history, while strong are good from ill survive. The strong are respected, and alliances are made with the strong, and in the end, peace is made with the strong.
And that was a quote from real-life anime villain and also Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu.
I still think it should be Nathaniel Netanyahu.
Just why? Why do you?
Because it rolls off the tongue nicer. Also, way more biblical, or at least sounds more biblical.
You should tweet him that. Just
I know they are equally as biblical.
This sounds better.
Nathaniel sounds more like religious.
Honestly, mate, you should tweet at him. Change your name.
At President of Israel, change your name.
Yeah.
I want you to be called Nathaniel from now on.
Well, no, I mean, you just said he sounds
better,
needs an anime name now, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. What is an anime Jewish name? I'm sure there's like some over the top, like
I
really
don't
racist
think that's
word.
something we should...
I don't want to know the answer to that question.
Nor do
I
I.
can probably answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if we asked 4chan, they'd definitely give us some.
I mean, I'm not.
if they did, that'd be kind
of characters they think are vaguely Jewish.
Not yet.
I'd be kind of like sad if 4chan didn't come with a a really, really, really bad name for him. So should we call him Naruntu Netanyahu? I think that's probably the.
Did you say Naruto?
Naruto was the villain, right? No, he was the
Yeah,
main
Boruto's
character,
not,
wasn't he?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know,
anime was Naruto Shippuden. Well,
Yeah, good old Boruto's dad.
Am I losing like way too many nerd points right now?
No.
you're losing all of it, all of the nerd points.
I'm a nerd, guys. I swear.
Oh yeah, real nerds only. Shit, you can't be a fake nerd anymore. I finally watched The Lord of the Rings.
I still haven't. I refuse to watch it because I'm not spending 9 hours to finish a fucking saga.
Keep up that fake nerd cred, man.
Yeah, I've totally watched the Lord of the Rings.
Of course it does.
You got to bear in mind you're taking Hobbits to Isengard.
Ah, of course it does. But yeah, no, this is.
I mean, you know, yay for representation.
You know how like everyone was taking the piss out of Trump during the North Korea thing, like saying like he was a real life anime villain. I don't even think he actually. I don't think even Trump got this like over the top.
No, this is like a
this is actually inciting violence to kill the weak.
Yeah, obviously we all know who he's talking about here. Like, I don't think.
You know the context of this. I don't explain. Who was he vaguing here?
Probably someone in Palestine.
Well, it'll just be the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like considering that international, like the UN has been critical of Israel's current settlement policy in Palestine.
Who isn't?
Fighting.
This
the
one
Israel
man in
trolls?
particular.
Is the Middle East ever going to get peaceful? Like, seriously. Can we just like have peace in the Middle East?
You said ever, so yes in theory.
Yes in theory. I love the in theory section there.
I
love how that
refuse to be certain anything
I love how that
could be
requires an in theory.
claimed on. I mean, look, would you say that post the death of all of humanity, things would be peaceful?
No, because the
if
land
so,
would probably
it's
be
a definite yes at some point.
The land would probably be inhabitable due to like the reason there's no life on Earth anymore.
Is that not the ultimate form of peace?
No, because that's no human, like no animal, no nothing is living on Earth.
Okay, so yeah, I'm keeping the theoretically then.
Yeah. Fuck.
Like,
So go on, how do you think the war's going to end? Do you think it's going to be with some anime supervillain, like, tweeting about it, and then all of a sudden nuclear war breaks out? Because that's how I think it's going to happen.
I mean, that'll probably be the most satisfying way, to be honest.
You think? Or at least we get a laugh before the nukes hit.
In fact, no, I think the most satisfying way the war could end is if just before it ended. I think the most satisfying way for the war to end is just before it ended, we saw Elon Musk trying and failing to leave Earth.
Oh, speaking of which, by the way, Elon Musk is being sued by the guy he called pedo.
Yeah.
Hey.
After basically saying no balls won't do it to him.
Isn't Grimes also breaking up with him or something?
Probably.
Azalea Banks has like caused a bunch of drama.
Probably.
I'm gonna say like there's a thing like people are trying to get rid of him. Like Tesla want rid of him, don't they?
Oh, I'm just going to switch over to the Discord chat a minute so everyone can like see all the nice lovely memes we've been sending.
Yeah, I got moderator over here
this
giving
one
us
I
some
personally
quality.
like, of course. This is actual anime supervillain Donald Trump.
Yeah,
I feel like that is. I feel like someone put way too much effort into that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fitting reference.
I agree.
That series did have a US president as a villain once.
Wait, do you have Discord white?
Eh?
Is your Discord in white mode?
Yeah, because I'm not a pleb.
Ew.
Why would you?
Because my lights are on, I don't see the point in switching it to dark. Also, Ryan, I'm already basically blind. There's nothing more that white light is going to do to my eyes that's not going to fuck you up anymore. I've just accepted I'm never getting my eyesight back. How many people do you think are going to call me out for being like, fucking ableist on that one?
I mean, you're being entirely self-deprecating.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also like slagging off the blind, I guess. I mean, I am sort of blind myself.
Oh,
so...
there Kyle goes, slagging off the blind again.
It's fine, they can't see it coming.
Oh.
Oh, if anyone ever hears that, that's getting some backlash.
Bear in mind we are
uploading
this unedited.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's fine, man. Most of the Ofcom broadcasting codes apply to widely viewed.
Oh
yeah. I think. Well, no, just viewed. I think.
Also, it can. It wasn't that savage.
Oh yeah, but we have to make the joke, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're safe. I mean, I will issue a public apology now to save me having to issue a public apology later.
I mean, I will mention we've said on this stream multiple times the podcast where you live in particular. So if that city now gets bombed by Israel, it's because you call their prime minister Naruto.
But surely, if Naruto wasn't a villain, that's a compliment, right?
Yeah, but you fought Naruto with
being insulted.
Shut up! I don't watch anime. Stop judging me.
I mean, fuck, man. I haven't seen Naruto either, dude. Like,
I think I've watched like an episode or two. In fact, I think I've seen like season 2 of Sword Art Online. That's about it.
Oh god, really? Sword Art is so shit.
I know.
Just be up to date with One Piece.
Like, the entire genre it's part of is 90% trash.
I do not have the time to watch One Piece.
It's only 800 episodes.
Well, that's because One Piece has been going on for like the last fucking 20 years, but it's actually had a consistent update schedule as well.
I feel like I'm completely out of my depth there.
Yeah.
One Piece is 800 and something episodes long, and I'm up to date with it.
Yeah.
I feel like, Adam, that is actually an achievement. I feel like you genuinely should get some kind of award for that.
Adam does have an anime picture as his profile.
Yeah.
Is that an anime picture?
Video
I
game.
remember the gorilla.
No, it's video game. It's Persona 4.
Oh,
fair enough. Yeah.
You know, like seeing the One Pieces makes me like sort of wonder what the hell the state of Hunter x Hunter would be if the author didn't like die for a few months every year or so.
It's a tax avoidance thing, isn't it? Dying.
No, they just disappears off the face of the earth for like a year or two and then comes back for 6 months, then dies again.
It was a Hitchhiker's reference, Wakey.
Look, man, I'm uncultured.
You uncultured swine.
We've established this.
He just doesn't know where his towel is.
Persona is anime. I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know.
I think they made anime, but it started off as a video game.
Okay.
The guy at Tencent.
Yeah. Also, Persona 5 stole RPG of 2017 from the most deserving RPG of 2017.
Which was?
Oh, do follow that up.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
That was not. Oh, folks.
God damn it! Stop shilling Divinity.
On a serious note, I want to play Persona. I don't want to play Divinity.
This is the first time I'm showed Divinity in here. Like, hello, Larian Studios, please recruit me.
Watch this. Please use a keyframe.
Yes, please virals. I need the money.
Apparently YouTube's just like having like a go at me for having bad stream quality or something.
Oh, it's just having us on because we're too shit.
I genuinely don't know how I'm like gonna fix this. To be quite frank. Oh well, it'd be great.
Oh God,
something to do with stream frequency or whatever. Fuck it, it'll fix itself.
Again, he's giving us the perfect get out of free card. We just need to announce that we're not straight.
Hey?
And apparently that'll fix everything.
Oh, are you referencing what's his face?
1 minute, I better actually get like the live chat up as opposed to like the thing. 1 minute, there we go. Okay.
I talked about this yesterday.
It's fine. We are now back to full health on the stream. Then we're back down. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna assume it's just something.
The most healthy stream you'll find.
One of your 5 a day. What were we talking about before we got on about chatting about Persona being anime?
Netanyahu.
Seriously, are you sure he's not an anime villain? He kind of has the kind of name that's...
I mean, like, he could be.
I could see it.
The future is not certain.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to wait like a couple of decades until someone makes a historical anime adaptation of, the whole Palestine conflict.
Can we stop having Jews like said in the chat, please?
Oh.
It's not cool, boys.
The rando in the chat does not.
Yeah, it's rando. We have no idea what he is.
He doesn't describe the views of this broadcast as a whole.
Yeah, he's rando. He's a mod on this fucking Discord.
Doesn't mean we're affiliated.
Right.
They're not affiliated. Yeah.
I hope not. I think that's how it works, alright? If not, I'll get prepared to write a public apology.
Speaking of public apologies, Theresa May's dancing skills.
Oh gosh.
No, I don't think that requires a public apology. I think that requires a public appearance on Strictly Come Dancing. I think we can get more memes out of it that way.
No, dancing on ice, if only because it would increase the chance she'll deck it. I'm sorry, but I would just love to see any world leader deck it on TV in ice skates.
Speaking of Theresa May as well, wasn't a guy arrested this week for trying to kill her, like in a terrorist plot under like the Islamic State?
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
I mean, I didn't hear anything of that, but you never know.
Probably. In fact, yeah. Let's just grab up the picture of like Theresa May. I couldn't actually find a happy picture of Theresa May that I could like stick up here. So
yeah,
we have this one where she's looking
get
extremely menacing.
From her dancing.
There were none that I could upload with like modification.
Yeah. It's weird. It seems like her only expressions are menacing, depressed.
Sorry, just the way that popped up, like, I'm watching the stream here. The way that popped up, it just looks so. It still looks sinister, but just how she was, like, you're just seeing like just the top of her head, like, I'm watching you. Which, I mean, it's Theresa May. She probably is.
That's the actual expression she's pulling after being told that people are talking about her on the internet again.
Ban all the internet. How dare they make memes about me?
The users are talking.
Do you know, if she said execute order 66, I could genuinely like just be like, oh, okay, I mean, it's something I could actually see her saying.
Yeah, no, someone tried to kill her in a suicide attack. His plan was to bomb the gates of Downing Street and then rush her with a knife.
That sounds like it was doomed to fail from the start.
That's like a CSGO strat I've ever seen one.
Do you think you'd have like paid for like a $60 knife as well? Like $60 knife skin?
I mean, if you're gonna try and kill a world leader, you gotta blink out for it.
Gotta flex on it. And they'll keep switching between like a really expensive pistol as well.
Look, they're probably not like a professional CSGO player. They're not going to be able to toggle.
Yeah, true. They got caught. How many times have you seen a professional CSGO player get killed?
Holy shit! I'm just running. There's a description online about how all this all went down, and apparently he made contact with an IS recruiter who was actually an FBI agent pretending to be one.
Of course, yeah.
He was then referred to a team of MI5 online role players who convinced him that they were members of IS.
I totally want that job now. I didn't know that was a job.
Yeah, apparently you can be paid to pretend to be a terrorist online. Like, I mean, hell, I do that for free anyway.
Yeah, same.
I can get paid for saying inciting things online now. Yay.
Yeah, government, can you sponsor this podcast? We'll incite all the violence.
Yeah, we'll incite all of the violence.
Now brought to you by the UK government.
He then later, before this attack, collected a bag and jacket from an undercover operative that he believed were filled with explosives, and was then arrested. Which,
let me guess, were actually filled with, like, I don't know, you know that blue paint that they have in, like, money bags?
It's probably just a big giant tracker.
No, because I like the idea of just like him like just go opening the bag to check that there's actually explosion, and then just like a massive pile of paint just splattered him.
It's just a letter bomb.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just a glitter bomb, It's just covered and stuff. It doesn't come at all. Oh, we've got a wonderful picture of Theresa May from our mod again.
Should we go back to the 1 minute? Let's go back.
Chat.
Let's go chat. We have a wonderful picture. Is
Yeah,
this a picture of Theresa May on ice?
I did forget about Theresa May's secret fourth emotion. Power stance.
The Tory power stance.
Look at this. This is Theresa May pictured after she heard someone was going to try and knife her.
To be fair, she does look about. She does look like she's in some sort of like low fighting stance.
Like no, it's like this is the Tory power stance. Like every major Tory politician has got a picture of them stood like that.
I mean, to be fair, this is just how I stand anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen people
come
like this when I've been walking back on the streets and that, you know. Walking down High Street Lane, people come at me like this.
You wanna go, man? You square to go? Oh, since it's Theresa May. Are you a square? Would you like to go, please? Will she say please? Probably not. That was my attempt.
I mean, I feel like Theresa May would probably say please. She's a good Christian woman, remember?
They have a picture. They have a picture on BBC of the fake bomb. Honestly, looks like someone's covered a casserole dish in duct tape.
Okay. Yep.
That's amazing.
Nice to know their prop department.
Hey, I have
nice to see where the
A-level media course.
It's nice to see where the taxpayers' money is going towards.
Yeah.
Casserole bowls and duct tape.
I mean, okay, fine. It is pretty deep for a casserole dish, but I'm not sure what else I'd call that. So.
You mean, is it a pressure cooker? Is that what you're saying?
No, because the entire thing's glass.
Right. And?
Like, it was all glass and vaguely pressure cooker shaped, vaguely casserole dish shaped, and covered in duct tape.
So what you're saying is we could probably like pressurize it and jobs are good, but really you'd probably just stick it like as casserole, right?
Probably.
I get you. But yeah, Theresa May has survived a terrorist plot by a complete idiot.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, this guy is so good. He never actually got in contact with any actual IS members. he failed step one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not sure if I'm impressed that he's not managed to speak to any IS members. Like, considering, like, you know, the amount
Well, he got
of
in touch
terrorists.
with the fake guy, so...
Yeah. He managed to get in touch with a fake recruiter.
So, like, I think that counts for something, at least.
Maybe. Oh, next level, right. The fake recruiter was originally a member of the IS, who is secretly a mole for the IS.
I mean, he's an FBI agent, so honestly, it's like, what, 50-50 chance?
I think there was a thing of, like, a while ago of, like, an FBI agent that went undercover to try and take down, like, some major drug dealers.
Yeah.
The person who ratted out turned out to be an FBI agent undercover posing as a drug dealer.
Communication, guys, it's kind of essential for any major
Communication
operation.
is key.
I love America sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Truly beautiful disaster.
I like how we were meant to talk about the dancing, and here we are talking about...
Yeah,
like,
but you know when the dancing is so bad that you don't really want to talk about it.
I mean, Carl,
all I have to say about
agenda.
Yeah,
how bad is her dancing? I haven't seen it.
Have you not seen it?
She does the full-on robot.
Okay, so have you ever seen a robot that actually has human components, has constipation, and is being stabbed at the same time?
I mean, it's the first result when I type in a name, which is surprising given that 6 hours ago there was a news report on an attempted murder.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but no one gives a shit about that.
It's sad, but it's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, so my description of it is a robot with human components who has constipation while being stabbed.
Basically, imagine just taking the robot to, like, the next level, that's the way I'd say.
Yeah, so imagine, like, she's a dad
just
who
the fact
can't
that,
actually dance, trying to think they can dance.
Well, the thing is, like, she's been constantly referred to as being, very much a robot when it comes to any kind of public appearance and not seem to have any emotion. How does she try and disprove this, like, thing? And like
by being a robot with no human emotions, doing a robot.
It's
the most awkward jive. It's like someone who knows they can't dance but still has to dance publicly.
Have you seen the Sex Offender Shuffle video? It
No.
reminded me a little bit of that.
Like, honestly, I'm getting the vibe here that Theresa knows that she can't dance, but also knows that if she doesn't, she'll just look even more like an emotionless human being.
Like, if she can't dance, I kind of feel sorry for her husband, because, like, their first dance must have just been really shit.
It was just...
If this was their first dance, I actually feel sorry for him, and, like, I feel that's probably
doing a little
grounds for divorce.
Oh, God, why is she spinning around? Why? Like, we get that you're not that confident at dancing, love, so why go that deep in just immediately?
Because, right, she's Theresa fucking May.
What a program.
Good old Tesmas.
Dictated.
I know, right?
Truly representing our country in the only way it can be, looking like someone's slightly tipsy nan at a function.
What do you mean slightly? Oh,
I mean, she's not drunk enough that...
She's good Christian, well, no, she's not going to be drunk.
No, slightly is in, like, she's drunk enough that she's dancing badly, but not enough that she's already fallen over in geranium.
Other plants are allowed.
Yeah, other plants are available, of course.
A geranium is normally to hand.
Yeah, let's face it, if your nan's going to fall over into a flower bed, it just ends up being geraniums most of the time.
Should we like continue talking about Theresa May with the proposal she gave the EU like the other day to kind of inadvertently start a new space race? So basically, she's proposed a new satellite program, which, yeah.
Is this her way of trying to make them forget about how much they all hate us for the things we've done?
Pretty much, but I basically
How's this going to be funded?
I don't know, clearly by the microbirds Argo created by that guy. 1 minute, I'll just grab his name up.
True legends only.
By that Lego work, aren't you?
It was, honestly, it's really good.
I mean, yeah, it's impressive work.
It don't get me wrong, it's good, but you seem like completely fascinated by it.
Look,
Ryan,
do
you not like
Lego? Slow news week.
Yeah, no.
Do you not like Lego, Ryan?
But anyway, actually, going back though, you're saying, oh yeah, we don't have the money to fund it yet. Wonder how much this new space program will be. We don't have the money for the NHS, but we can afford a new space program.
Oh, I'm not saying the country's poorly funded, Ryan.
Yeah, like this is around a bit of like America's thing where they're trying to fund like the Space Force or whatever the fuck that's
Space Force.
Space Force.
Right, so I'm just gonna go to the main Google search tab thing that I have. Yeah, this is the Thunderbirds logo. Created by Gerard, if only I remembered. Yeah, go check this guy out. He actually makes some really good.
This is some cool shit.
Yeah, like these are all, as far as I'm aware, custom. This amazing black picture here because Flickr is terrible at loading. Oh, it's just because it's like an ad. There we go. Yeah, like look how cool. Alright. I sort of want these. Like my original plan for this was to get Thunderbirds Argo, like the base one, or like Satellite 5. But apparently none of them are in the public domain somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to bet that Satellite 5 is what Theresa May used as part of her presentation to show the new amazing UK Space Force we're going to have.
We're not going to have a Space Force. Only America's going to have a Space Force because America wants to dominate in space, hence the idea of a Space Force.
No, we have to rival them, right? We have to make like space battleships, yeah?
No.
Yeah, obviously.
The problem with this, right, Ryan? The special forces in space would then be the SSS. And that's going to get shortened, and you know it.
Okay, I think the difference here is that you reckon that will be unintentional. Want to. With America's current trajectory, there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to go for as many Nazi allegories as possible. Depending on how things work out.
Yeah.
It's a custom Lego set built by that guy and one of his friends or something. There'll be a link in the description somewhere. I think I've uploaded it.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, like honestly, that guy genuinely deserves some praise here.
Yeah, you have cool hobbies that actually do something productive.
Yeah, other than mine and yours and everyone else's here. Actually, to be fair, my hobby's cooking, so like that kind of.
And I've tasted your bread.
Well, yeah, I mean, alright, so the bread was the first time I'd made the bread. Alright, so the bread was terrible.
His cow got some crazy secret bread recipe we all should know about.
So if you want to kill
he
your
had
enemy...
made like solid bread bricks that were very salty.
Yeah, pretty much. I can actually cook, I'm just not good with bread.
Yeah.
I don't want to perfect my bread making.
Pretty
Check
much
out
all
my
my
Instagram
baking.
if you want to see some of my
Oh
recipes.
yeah, on Instagram. Pretty much all my baking's done for my D&D group, so I haven't had a chance to try bread really.
Use strong flour because you can't artificially like create the illusion of like a lot of protein. Just use strong flour.
Yeah, it's fine. If I ever want to do bread, I'll just binge watch all of the bread weeks from Bake Off before I do it. And
yeah, or like
go
subscribe to Binging with Babish and wait for him to like upload part 2 to bread making.
Yeah, that's another option, I guess.
Speaking of which, by the way, Bake Off is back this week.
Oh,
Has anyone watched it?
I have only seen the original series on Netflix. I don't have a TV license at uni. I can't be asked to actually watch TV while I'm at home. So.
Why, are you back in Lincoln now?
No, I'm not back yet. Be back in a week.
Oh, I'm gonna say. No. This week they didn't start off with Bread Week.
Oh shit!
And they made it like this really big like. Oh my god.
So you've been watching it. So is it still good? Like, is it still as good as the older series?
I mean, there's been one episode. Like, this is the first episode of the new series.
Wait, really? I thought. Wasn't there a new series? Didn't the new series get made?
Yes, this is now the second series on Channel 4.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So what I meant was like the new channel series, like the last season we had of that. Was that any good or not? I never saw it.
I only watched a few episodes, but it was actually quite good. I genuinely enjoyed the new presenters. I'm not random weirdo, but then again, I really like Sandy. Is it Sandy Toxbury? I think that's how you say her name. I really like her as a person, like, as a presenter and stuff. Check her out; she's on QI as well.
Yeah. Oh right. I mean, now let's face it. I didn't exactly go to Bake Off to love the presenters. I only knew of.
Seriously.
Mel. I only knew of Sue. Because apparently when I was starting to grow my hair out, I looked a bit like her.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's the only context I knew Superlines from. Everyone else didn't know at all.
But no, Bake Off is actually being quite like you. Especially for me, like now that I've started getting into cooking, like.
Yeah.
Bake Off was actually quite nice because I saw like really strange cooking methods for like cookies.
Oh yeah, I do love like the amount of.
So one of the spoiler alert, because we're really treading on like thin water here, because Bake Off genuinely kicks up a massive fuss online if you like say stuff wrong. So, right, spoiler alert for this week's episode of Bake Off. Spoiler alert. Okay.
Yeah, if our one viewer that isn't us.
Well, no, because this thing gets uploaded to YouTube, doesn't it? Like so.
Yeah, so there's phosphor and then there's Hatter.
So she boils an egg to start off. Like I think it was shortbread she was making or something.
Ooh.
She starts off by boiling the egg to add the yolk, like a boiled egg yolk. And apparently, like it was the best biscuit he'd ever tasted. Like,
damn, that's an interesting method.
Yeah, like I want to try it. But yeah, I kind of feel like I'll overdo the egg. But no, I think I'm going to try it, so stay tuned to my Instagram if you want to see the results of that at some point. My Instagram is in my channel. Very shameless plug. I'm being followed by actual chefs now.
Yeah. Hey, maybe if I ever get an Instagram, I'll follow.
It's fine. Like, I've got professional chefs and like teaching chefs and stuff following me on Instagram now.
Oh wow!
It's like
That's Gordon Ramsay telling you your food shit.
No, it's not actually.
So it's not like the top quality, like.
No, because my food. I mean,
I'm
going to sound really.
Gordon Ramsay hasn't called you shit.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to sound really, really like arsehole here. My food looks nice. Unlike theirs.
I was half expecting you to finish with "but tastes shit."
Oh no, my food tastes really nice, except for that bread. Alright, so I'll admit that bread is not my specialty. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of only made bread because Bake Off was on that day, so I was like, I've got to get in the Bake Off mood, right?
It's bread week, you know. Bread week means bread week.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
That's what we should do. You know, we need a direction as a country. Let's replace Brexit with bread week as the big thing that's driving our country forward. You know, bread week means bread week.
So we should have an economy of bread, right?
Now, don't say that, because like Ryan keeps saying, Theresa May's been on a walking holiday. She might actually make us vote for that. Also, does that mean Theresa May would have to go on a walking holiday every week?
Oh.
No, we just have a week every year dedicated to bread.
Yeah, sure. I eat enough bread anyway.
I'd like to say my bread might have been shit, but Ryan said he would have actually eaten it.
This is an actual solution now to the problem we have with our voting system.
What, make it Bake Off style?
Replace it with a Bake Off contest.
No, because you know that's how the American electoral system works, right?
I'm not saying make it Bake Off-esque. I'm saying just literally have Bake Off decide our world leader.
So what, like, every political party would have to put forward, like, a super, like, chef MP?
Yeah, and then we throw in a couple of wild cards. I don't know,
Speaking of which, then, if that's the case, then, what about the new Lib Dem guy? Let's start with Lib Dems with their non-MP leader.
Yeah, so Ryan, you know how politics work. Explain what this is, please.
Well, it's probably because I haven't actually followed the Lib Dems that much because they're not worth following at this point. But
I wish that wasn't the truth, but it is.
So I don't know a lot about this either.
Are you? It doesn't really matter. Are you okay with the idea of like a non-MP being the leader of a party? So theoretically, we could have a non-prime minister.
A lot of
prime minister.
Like, what was it? The only context
the
was
parliamentary leader. If they were to somehow end up with a parliamentary majority, because that's totally likely to happen.
For argument's sake.
So yeah, then they would pick a prime minister from within the parliamentary MPs. They'll have, a leader of the parliamentary MPs.
Yeah.
Probably. I wonder if they're trying to go down what the Greens have done. They have the leader of the Greens. The Green Party has two co-leaders. Right. I believe one of them is an MP, one of them isn't.
Okay.
One of their co-leaders is an MP.
Right.
So they lead the parliament. They lead the Green parliamentary thing, which means she leads herself and one other person. Or is it just herself now?
I think it's just herself.
Have one MP. I know they did have two. I can't remember. I should probably quickly check that, but I'm too lazy. But yeah.
Let's find out.
Then the other person, is just as influential as the parliamentary leader in the policy debate, in the policy forum of the Green Party.
1 minute, Green Party number.
But it's just weird, and you do have several parties that have no MPs as well that you've got to bear in mind.
So the Green Party holds 1 seat.
Yeah.
And it's in South
Wales.
I'm
gonna say, bear in mind there are also political parties in the UK that don't have any seats in Parliament.
Yeah, like the Monster Looney Party.
Yeah,
who I believe have actually had a seat in Parliament before.
Actually, I think the current, if they even have a leader at the moment, UKIP, they have 1 MP. He still have him, probably. But he isn't the leader of UKIP. It's just, convention of major parties. Their leader should, is generally an MP because it makes choosing the Prime Minister really simple. But it is certainly an interesting thing for the Lib Dems because they're still technically classed. Well, not so much anymore, but, they have historically been classed as, a major party in Britain.
Yeah, they tend to get grouped as the third one of the major parties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a saying of we live in a
They're the
2.5 party
Jeb Bush of
system in
parties.
the UK. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
every
mean,
so
if
often
I-
the Lib Dems like coalish with other people. And it's like, that's about it. That's like all they do. That is like their purpose in life. To
There have
exist.
been things where, they've taken seats from parties, and then because of that, those parties have lost government. I think that's actually how, one of the things that influenced
Interesting though.
the Tories in 2010,
was
is
it
a
Nick
lot
Clegg
of
lost
Labour
his...
seats went.
Was it Nick Clegg lost his seat? So Nick Clegg's the guy who's blowing the balloon up on screen. If the one person doesn't know,
Yeah, Nick Clegg actually.
Didn't he lose his seat by one vote?
Don't know if it was one vote, but it was very close.
But there was one of the Liberal Dems that lost their seat by one vote. So if anyone ever says to you your vote doesn't matter because it's only one vote, there you go.
I'm gonna say, it does depend on the area though. With that, when you say
Ryan, I'm trying to encourage people to vote.
Yeah.
Are you trying to discourage people from voting? If so, that
No,
explains why Labour keep losing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to discourage people from voting. I mean, actually, then again, any area is a swing. Any area could be a swing place now because Cambridge, not Cambridge, because that is a Labour seat. Oh, what was the place?
If every person that didn't vote because they thought it didn't matter,
there was, I can't think of what the seat was now, but in the last election there was like a very strong Tory seat. One of the, been Tory for over 100 years or something, and it went Labour.
Wow.
And of course there were Kensington as well. And a couple of
I don't think which one. I thought Cambridge was on where the Speaker of the House was from.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's what, sorry?
That's not Cambridge. I can't remember what it is, but it's not Cambridge.
Yeah, not Cambridge.
I mean, it depends on. So I think there's like a couple of seats within Cambridge anyway. But I know Cambridge is. I think Cambridge is actually Labour.
So
I do know someone from Cambridge. Actually, no, a couple of people from Cambridge.
Ooh, look at you! Got friends in high places, Ryan.
No,
Who did here?
Right, one of my flatmates from first year was from Cambridge, and then I can't remember where I got
flatmates.
The other person from. Hey, university accommodation, eh? You know exactly what it's like.
I know. I spent 3 years in one of them, and then I don't really feel like doing my thesis in student accommodation. So yeah, that's what happened. Got a bigger kitchen now. It's quite nice. And an enormous room.
You're still living with randos.
That's not the point. Actually, last year I didn't live with randos, and the year before I didn't live with randos.
So why are you living with randos now? Why do you?
I mean, actually,
right. I don't generally know that many people who are staying on university that are in my year.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
And people who are staying on at university have typically speaking got placements.
To be fair, Tom, I think there is something that can be said to you there. But I need to be careful. I'm going to be careful about this. But we all know what I'm saying here, so I think that's enough.
Okay, look, all right.
Literally 100% of the audience knows what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I can get on with them
the live audience.
Yeah, the live audience.
Alright, I get on with them well enough.
How?
And to be quite frank, what is it? It's weird. We both joined this housing group independently. I don't know how you got involved with it, but I was approached by some other mutual friend we have without the knowledge that the other was there. It was really weird. Yeah, come on.
We're still gonna rib you for it.
Oh, I know you will.
It's not that bad, but we still will dirty you.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be tolerable. I mean, you're gonna be in your third year next year, and you'll still be living with him.
No, it's not even second year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is. Oh wait, shit! You'll both be in third year, won't you?
Yeah, we're in the same.
I keep forgetting that you're a young'un.
Yeah, we're all in the same. Well, we're all almost in the same course.
Yeah, that's.
We got one real science player.
So basically, if one episode of Backseat Friends is just wake you on its own, you know why. Because the rest of us have got quite big things to write this year.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, you guys need like real, actual.
Yeah, I don't have a dissertation this year. I have a thesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing your masters.
Oof.
I mean, my dissertation poster is currently up on my wall, and I feel quite sad about that. I'm like,
I wonder if I can still manage to put in 12
I don't know
hours
why my
of
dissertation
tabletop
poster
stuff
is
a
up on my
week.
wall, but my dissertation poster is up on my wall. I actually printed out a second one to have one stuck up on my wall. I don't know why.
I mean, honestly, I'm more apprehensive of living with my main DM for the year.
Ooh.
On the other hand,
I did that once. Would not do it again.
On the other hand, it gives me a second reason they can't kick me out of the group. The first one being I'm the guy that brings the food.
1 minute, so you aren't the DM yet you bring the food?
Yeah. It's a
Your
habit
group
I got with my
dichotomy is completely fucked, mate.
Yeah, man. My old group that I hang out with in the summers, I got into the habit of just baking for them because everyone used to bring a bit of something. And then at uni...
Also, can we just point out that in my room, like while we're on about universities, I have put my black belt certificate up, which is framed, up on the wall with command strips, like heavy duty, like 4.5 kilo command strips, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there is a
great.
pin up on the wall. I didn't need to put it up with command strips, and I put it up with command strips because I'm a fucking idiot. There's a screw literally screwed into the wall. I don't know if it's meant to be there, but I mean, there's a screw up on the wall.
It might be meant for a clock or something. It's actually one in like my room. There's like a random screw in the wall.
Well, it could be actually.
So my bet is it's probably for a clock.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's face it, you can hang anything through if you try hard enough.
I mean, I'm quite impressed at how well those command strips have worked.
No, no, command strips are really good.
Yeah, but like the heavy duty ones, you're like, when you sort of look at something, you're like, yeah, alright, sure you can.
Yeah,
But no, they genuinely work. I'm impressed with them. Sorry, 1 minute.
Well, we can tell how like amazing the Lib Dems are, but when we started talking about Lib Dems, now we're talking about how good command strips are.
That's how enthusing the Lib Dems are. Segue on to command strip.
I mean, the fact that I had to go and look back to remind myself what we were talking about in the first.
Actually, reminds me. You never said that. So, what is the Brexit space race plan? And what is our proposed idea that we do? Because we mentioned that some have been proposed and it's a bit daft, but
yeah, and then we started talking about knowing something we don't know anything about because I haven't heard anything of it.
Does anyone know what the actual proposal was? Or
I'm back, I think, hopefully.
Oh.
Unless everything is just fucked up. Oh, well, I mean, the stream's now saying it's poor health again, so that's great.
Right.
Yeah, stream's always poor health.
There is a reason I record these videos as well. This is the reason.
Yeah, Cal, what was the UK space thing that was proposed?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Basically, the UK wants to promote like a satellite program to throw a satellite back in space. I actually think that you are probably right with the whole they're trying to rival Trump. I genuinely think that's probably what they're doing.
I mean, hey, the big scary country is going into space, so I guess that means we'll have to do it now.
Okay, so
wait, somebody's going to colonize something before us?
Actually, under international law, you are not allowed to colonize another planet.
I know, you can't colonize the moon, and you can't put nuclear weapons in space.
I'm not sure about the second part.
There is an international treaty forbidding the use of nuclear weapons in space.
Well, I'm so glad someone's looking out for the world.
Yeah, the real question is there a rule against us?
But no, theoretically, if you were to put a city on the moon, and that city was predominantly populated by one particular race, that country would then own the area that city surrounds, but only whatever that predominant race was there. The moment they left, that's it.
You mean nationality?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
So pretty
as my understanding from reading The Martian.
Guys, we should totally go to space and establish communism because space is the one place that capitalism hasn't corrupted yet.
Oh, no, actually,
you got it wrong.
Read Artemis, and you will be pleasantly surprised by space capitalism.
Oh no.
Oh, good old space capitalism. You know,
No.
you gotta get that premium oxygen package.
Spoiler alert to the book. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Right. Okay. So
Spoiler.
that's basically the main plot of the book, right to the end. Trying to get space capitalism to work.
Then they establish fully automated luxury gay-based communism.
Sure, why not?
Oh yeah, that is always the ultimate end goal of anything, I think.
Right, if you establish space communism, I will actually...
No,
not space communism. Fully automatic luxury gay space communism.
Fully automatic gay space communism?
You should look
Why
it up,
gay?
Right.
How can a political system have a sexuality? How?
I can't remember the full origin. I think it started.
I don't want to know the full origin, Ryan. I feel like it's somewhere.
You should look it up.
I feel like it exists only on like Paul and Paul alone.
No, it's a meme actually from the. I'm trying to read this, but it keeps coming up with a thing with a little blab block on.
I would Google it, right? But currently,
it's right. So it's a meme from far left organisations about the sort of theoretical ideal society that everyone knows isn't really probably going to happen within anyone's lifetime, but it's the ideal, hope spot thing.
Right.
Fully automated luxury gay space communism.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that phrase one more time, please?
Fully automated
luxury gay space communism.
So everything in it is just like completely impossible with under communism.
It's like imagine like the most ideal sort of unfeasible but amazing utopia possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything's fine, everything's wonderful.
Okay, I want everybody who ever watches this video to put in the comment section, do you think that space screams luxury to you? Especially the whole, oh shit, I'm not wearing a suit, guess I die now.
And now all I can think of is that episode of Doctor Who with capitalism in space.
Which one?
Yeah.
There was a thing where they had to buy their oxygen or something.
Yeah. Of the space episodes they had that season, that was the better one.
Okay.
It was just a Peter Capaldi's thing of capitalism in space.
The thing is, you would never really have to buy oxygen in space if you ever established like a full colony. Because oxygen is typically speaking a byproduct of most chemical reactions like that you would do in space.
Yeah, although that one was on a space station, so.
Oh, okay, fair enough then.
Yeah.
Theoretically,
fair
makes
enough
sense
then, yeah.
You'd have to get sourced oxygen from somewhere.
But no, like purification of aluminium, like you can produce oxygen from that.
Look, no one ever said that people have done the most practical thing over the most profitable thing.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Are you running like the bath?
Nope, I'm just switching over to my phone because my laptop's gonna die.
Oh, Sam, at least yours isn't gonna melt. Oh, actually, no, it's not too bad. I think it's kind of got used to the idea of using a lot of CPU and like, hey, efficiency. I don't know, this week it's only using 7.5%. As opposed to the quarter of all my CPU power.
Oh, it's a full quarter, mate. What are you going to do?
Should we move on to the next topic before we talk about more? Is there not a next topic? Are you sure about that one?
I'm pretty sure we ran out of topics like a topic.
I refuse to acknowledge that we ran out of topics. Oh yeah, no, the Lib Dem was like the last one.
It's in quite a slow news week. One of our topics was the reason why you can't dance very well.
Yeah, you know it's the case. God damn it! If my housemate knocked on my door like 20 minutes later.
Because I mean, usually that would be like a side topic that we segue into, but no, that was a main topic.
I feel like the majority of things that have been like tangents this week have been main topics. Yeah. And everything that was a main story this week has been like a tangent.
It's just what happens sometimes, you know.
We're gonna complete like 180. Oh, what the fuck? Anyway, for some reason we're recording at 30 frames a second, even though I tell this to record at 60. So I apologise for the chat for the horrible nausea that you're gonna get. But yeah, until next week.
You know, That FPS is really gonna harm.
1 minute, should we just like fuck with the chat a little bit? Right, so we've got this Facebook logo.
What are you doing?
Because it's not 60 frames a second, I'm just throwing the Facebook logo around. Fucking with the chat a bit.
Just torment chat.
Yeah, why not?
You know, they're here, they can't leave.
Exactly. Oh yeah, no, we now put like a virus on the computer so they can't leave. They have to watch Back Friends. That virus is called the subscribe button.
If you exit this video before it ends, your computer will explode.
Do you know there was a virus that forced the people to play PlayerUnknown's Battleground? You had to play 2 hours of PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Otherwise, all your files are encrypted.
It's the dumbest thing ever. I love it.
Alright. Best part about it is the virus itself had an unlock now button. So the virus literally was just designed to get people to play PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
So basically, it was a virus where if you did what the virus wanted, you'd probably get another virus.
Wow.
From the cancer.
There's a difference between a potentially unwanted program, right, and a virus, right?
Look, I mean, I know there's a big difference between cancer and virus, but, you know, it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I like PlayerUnknown's Battleground, okay?
Actually, I suppose at least isn't as bad as League of Legends or a MOBA.
What is League of Legends?
Oh, don't.
Until next week, guys. Hopefully we'll actually have some decent news topics. Maybe.
We might have content.
Yeah, if they look, something big and interesting.
Sorry, 1 minute. When we're saying content, I feel like I should Slavic squat. I know this will not come through, but content. There we go.
Isn't there another YouTuber that has the whole content as their thing?
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. So no, it's not plagiarism. It's flattery.
Yes.
It's an homage.
To be fair, right, I think I'm under fair use because I have changed the content in such a way to cause a parody of the original content.
Oh, don't start talking about David Cameron's parody law.
Yo, guys, quick question. You know those like things you could toast sandwiches and make toasties with? Is there an actual name for that?
Yeah, a skillet.
Hang on, wait.
Is that what a skillet
Tom,
is?
are you saying that
a skillet is a cast iron pan that you use to make toasties.
Right, the fucking, you know what I mean? There's like sandwich maker press things like.
I know what you mean. I'm choosing to ignore what you mean because that is a disgusting idea.
I'm having an argument with the chat, please. What if my group just arguing about what sandwich toasters are actually called?
Tell them a frying
pan.
pan.
Company chat.
Toasty bot.
Yeah, company chat has lots of discussions like that.
Is it like, I don't know why this is happening. Like my.
Why this is happening is because they won't buy a frying pan.
No,
buy a fucking frying pan.
We're discussing the appliances we have, and someone asked about, has anyone got one of those sandwich maker things? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got one somewhere. And then an argument started on what the actual name for it.
I mean, can we also point out the fact that Tom said toast sandwich earlier?
Look, man, the reason I said somewhere is because I've never opened the thing, because I don't eat toasties, like ever.
1 minute, you're a student and have never eaten toasties.
Look, man, last year I lived entirely off of chicken and chips and cottage pies.
Way. I mean, no matter what I said, I was probably going to wave out, but hey.
Meanwhile, I've gone basically veggie, but that's fine.
Look, man, you know those days when I wasn't able to go to the post meet up Mackey's trip, and I said I had something in the fridge. It
was a quiche.
No,
sorry,
that was always leftover cottage pie.
Hey.
Because like that was the idea, like you make it, and for the next like 2, maybe 3 days, sometimes.
Shit, I've got my stew downstairs actually.
See,
I should probably put that in the fridge. I know I haven't actually made any pasta. I'm probably gonna make some tomorrow.
But hey.
I'm probably gonna make some pasta tomorrow because I kind of feel like trying to make you know that pasta I made the other day, like with the pasta. I kind of want to try that again, but with like applesauce instead. So I'm probably going to head to the market tomorrow, pick up some apples, and try and make like a proper nice applesauce. Put that inside the pasta pastry. Throw that in and see what that tastes like. Because I found out that the pasty doesn't have very much taste at all because it's very reliant on the fillings. Think about it, like pasta on its own is really bland.
Yeah.
So baked pasta's gonna be really bland too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill it with apples, like an apple sauce, and then glaze it with a whiskey egg wash, and see what that tastes like. Because the egg imparts no flavour whatsoever.
Maybe this should become a new segment on Backseat Friends. We just discuss recipes.
No, it already is. It's called Go Subscribe to My Instagram.
Hey, fine, I'll get an Instagram.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, my account is basically just like food porn at this point. It was originally just me wanting to follow people.
So it's an Instagram account.
It was originally me just following people. Now it's me just posting food.
God, this is like when I had a Snapchat for like 2 weeks.
Why aren't you following me on Snapchat?
Because I had a Snapchat
add me on
for 2 weeks and then I got rid of it.
Hashtag add me on Snapchat. God, that felt cringy.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like I'm too old to say that now. Guys, I'm getting old.
I mean, it's less you're too old and it's more I know you too well for that saying that to not sound really weird.
But yes, we will actually wrap this up. Until next time. Goodbye, guys.
Make sure to subscribe. Smash that notification button.
Don't forget the like button. Give us a thumbs up.
No. What it is
oh yeah,
it's hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, smash that like button, and comment down below for new for new suggestions.
Oh yeah, actually, if you've got anything you want to talk about, you can slap it.
Don't forget to join the Discord channel.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we occasionally do things using that channel.
I mean, we do things quite a lot now because we've got like me knowing how to use OBS.
Yeah.
So this whole thing was just so you could figure out how to do OBS, really.
Yeah, totally.
It's the secret motivation.
Right, that's how science starts.
We talk a lot of shit. Yeah. Let's make a podcast.
That's how science starts, isn't it? You have like an idea and you're like, fuck it, how does this work? Right. Oh look, I just created a cure for a disease.
Yeah, that's how science happens.
That's how science happens.
I accidentally left the lid off my science. And wait a minute, mold.
Right, you kill.
But yeah, no. Can we do that again though? We've run out of antibiotics.
Well,
what, just leave the lid
off? I did see a thing where they found this other thing, like this other microorganism that eats bacteria. And in order for bacteria to be able to repel against it, it needs to get rid of the properties that make it resistant to antibacterial whatever.
I know the University of Lincoln's just come up with the idea of types of actin, which is a new antibiotic.
Antibiotics, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, like.
So what? The chemical attaches onto it, kills it, and if it gets resistant to it, it has to remove its resistance to antibiotics.
Yeah. So in order for bacteria to become resistant to this particular thing, it's like another I think it's like a protein microorganism or something.
Listen to Ryan trying to do science.
I read a thing once, but no, in order for it to become adapt to be able to fight off this thing and stop, it has to sacrifice, its genetically made resistance to antibacterials, like antibiotics.
I understand those words.
I'm gonna pretend I do because I feel like Ryan's butchering something, but yeah, no, I
probably
I
am. Hey, I got an A. I got an A at GCSE biology.
I only got B, so don't worry about it.
Hey.
I don't like biology, so.
I got an A in.
I also got an A in physics, but a B in chemistry.
I got a B in biology and a B in physics and an A in chemistry.
I know I was an overall. But
I like how 5 minutes ago you said, and we're actually gonna wrap up this.
You wrapped into a conversation about
right, okay, so how about we actually wrap this up? So say goodbye to everyone. Alright, so goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye, chat.